Hey people, um, I just came back from the best trip of my life, and I think it's a great story how it happened, and I'm probably feeling a bit emotional. So I want to tell you all the story of what happened and how I went to the best trip of my life. To put you in a little context, I I have to tell you about my school. Well, I finished school on the 12th of April, I think 15th of April or 12th. I don't know. The thing is that I finished school and I thought I had to go to summer school because I did a really bad semester. But the second semester I worked really hard. I didn't know if I would quite make it or make up for like all the bullshit I did in the first semester. So, in the meantime, they gave me the results until the 17th of May. So from the 15th of April until the 17th of May, I didn't know if I was going to pass the year or if I needed to go to summer school or whatever. So those were really stressful times, but I stayed here in Montpellier, which is like where I'm staying. It's where my university is, just to wait for the results. And if I needed to go to summer school, I was already here. But if I would go home and then come to summer school and then go home again and then come back for the next year, it would be a mess. So in the meantime, I met a really special person. She's a girl that she was doing like a stash, so she was like working for free. It's more than just working for free, but I call it working for free at a laboratory, something like that, because she went to a school of like science and stuff like that. So she came to Montpellier to do a stage. She's a Canadian, and she came to France to do that. And I met her, and when I didn't have nothing to do, and I met her a lot because she's a really, really special human. And we started little by little seeing each other until the point where we literally started living with each other, and it was really funny meeting her, and because she's such a nice soul and such a nice person, but I knew she had to leave Canada because like she's not French. Like I knew she was here just to do the stash. I was conscious of it. The problem is, you know, there's things you're conscious about and there's things you're not conscious about. And when I went through all of that stress of like the second semester and passing the year or not passing the year and all of this, she was there all this time waiting with me just to see if I would pass the year or not, and she was cheering me on and helping me every step of the way. And but like we started just like living with each other, which was funny because how can fucking shit. Yeah, and she was like a really reserved, introverted person, kind of, but she was really open with me, which I valued it a lot. And well, turns out she was going to Italy for a week. Literally, like the week after they gave me the results, like last week, and they gave me the results on a Wednesday, and I think that of the same week, the Saturday she was going to Italy, like fucking 3-4 days later. And I said jokingly because we started like living, and well, like that week before I got with the exams, well, before I got the results, I thought that was the last week I was going to see her because if I was going to prepare with the exams, I will not see her. No matter what, I would make a bit of time with her, but I will not live with her. It was literally almost the last time I would see her. So I thought that week was like the days before the Wednesday results. Those were the last days I were going to see her. So I made it really special, and I knew that she was going to live to Italy on the weekend. So I tried, I made it really special. And we said jokingly, if I pass a year, I'm going to Italy with you. And the thing was that she was not only going to Italy like alone, she was going with like her friend that she came to France with, to the stash. Both friends of like their school in Canada. And she said, haha, yeah. But we didn't thought it would happen. We just said it jokingly. And Wednesday came. Well, we passed the days before Wednesday, like the Monday and Tuesday, they were fabulous days. Like, I did everything I could to spend all the days with her. And then Wednesday came, they gave me the results, it passed a year. And I told her, hey, I will go to Italy with you. But the friend was there too. But she didn't care. And next thing I knew, I was in a bus. I took a 14-hour bus to get from Montpellier to Venice, which was where she was, the first town. Then we spent one night in Venice. Well, and the next morning. So we spent less than 24 hours in Venice, but it was a spectacular. Like, Venice was so good. And then after going to Venice for one night, we went to Florence. But in Florence, we were 3 nights. I think 3 nights. The first night, we just literally went from Venice to Florence, so we didn't do much. We just slept. Then the next day, we investigated a bit the city. Then the next day, we went to Cinque Terre, which are like the coast in Italy. Some like little towns, really beautiful little towns in the coast of Italy. And then after that, we went to that day we woke up like at 4 a.m. We didn't sleep anything. We went through all the 5 towns. It was crazy. We got home really late. The next day we were leaving Florence to go to Rome, and we spent all the the morning we were to Pisa. We went from Florence to Pisa, then from Pisa to Florence again, and then from Florence went to Rome. That was crazy. That was nuts. But all of this time, I'm spending all of this time with the girl, like every little moment. Like when I wake up until when I go to sleep, probably I just go and film a bit alone for like an hour a day or something like that. But out of 24 hours, 22, I'm spending it with her. Like it was like this. I went like this every single day for the full week in Italy. And I've never before in my life been to Italy, but I really wanted to go. Like I was preparing to go these vacations, but alone, or I didn't think I would go with nobody. And I ended up, I think it's like one of, God messages, probably. I would call it something like that, because it was really perfect, and the timing was perfect, because it was literally just a week that gave me the results. So if it would have been 1 week later, I wouldn't have gone. If it would have been 1 week before, I wouldn't have gone. And then we spent 3 nights in Rome, 3 of the most magnificent nights of my life. The last night in Rome, we went to like eat in a Italian native restaurant with like Italians and families, and the typical restaurant. But it was like a town restaurant. It was not like a fancy restaurant, but I enjoyed a lot eating dinner with her that night. And Next thing I know, we go from Rome to Montpellier again. And she's going to Portugal for like 2 days, or I don't know how many, like 2, 3. I feel bad. Yeah, of course. I've lived with this person for 1 month. I don't know where. Well, she's going for Porto to see her friends for a bit, and then she's going back to Canada. I think it's less than a week that she's been in Porto, but she has planned this Porto trip like for a long time with her friends. That they're for friends, like there are only two in Canada, which is like the girl I met and her friend. But all her friends from Canada, like a bunch of her friends of Canada, are coming too to Porto. So it's like a special trip for her, and I just went to the train station and said goodbye to her, and now I'm back home. How can a trip, like how can meeting a person for 1 month could affect you psychologically that much? This is weird. Like this is not normal. Like usually if you feel like this for a person, it takes a long time to create a, connection. Probably accelerated a bit because like we were literally living with each other for like 2 weeks or probably more. One, it was. Oh man! And even yesterday, we spent like more than 10 hours in trains, probably like 12 hours in trains, just in like one train after another. We took like 4 trains. It was not. Every time I spent it with her, every single time. And now she's living to Canada. And I'm in France. And I may never see her again in my life. Man. How? If you would have told me 1 month ago all of this would happen, I would probably be laughing my ass off and calling you crazy. But I went to Italy for 1 month, for 1 week. I went through a bunch of cities in Italy. Spent it with the most wonderful person I met. That I met through a full month. But if you say a month, it doesn't sound like much. But if you live together with a person for a month, and the situation itself, like we're both not from here, we're both we're both from the American continent. We come from the other side of the sea, of the ocean, and we were kind of alone. Well, not alone, she had her friend, but in a way, we left our friends, our family alone just to come here. I know she didn't come here for much, she came here just to do a stash, but yeah, I'm gonna stick in the boat a bit longer here because I need to finish university and that takes some years, but I may never see that girl again in my life because she's going to Canada, where she is from, on the other side of the world. And now, after living with her, hugging her 24/7, eating with her, waking up with her, going to sleep with her, everything with her. Now I'm alone again. You're alone, dude. You're really alone. Crap. Yeah, they say that you cannot love with measure. If you love, you go all in, and when something is supposed to finish like this, because I knew she was not French and I knew she had to leave to Canada afterwards, I didn't thought I would see her that much, but seeing her every single day, waking up, having someone that, you know, I was just happy like to see you. The bad thing is, and she left me a note. She left me a freaking note saying how much she loves me. And then I'm the best thing that has happened with her life. Fucking shit.